Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Chiefscape, and welcome to the episode of Necromunda Hired Guns, your ultimate guide to the gritty underhive of Games Workshop's Necromunda. In this series, we will dive deep into the fascinating world of hanger-ons, brutes, as well as hired guns, and whether you're a seasoned gang leader or just stepping into the dark corners of Hive Primus for the very first time, our in-depth analysis will help you master these valuable allies and assets. We will actually give you a comprehensive breakdown of the hanger-ons as well as their unique abilities. We'll provide brutal insights into the strengths and weaknesses of brutes. We'll provide tactical tips for hiring and deploying the best hired guns for your gang, and provide strategies for maximizing the impact on your gang's dominance. And on today's episode, we are focusing on the ubiquitous Hive Scum, those low-live mercenaries that you can recruit in order to strengthen your own gang and use as cannon fodder. In this video, we'll talk a little bit more about their background lore, we'll talk over their characteristics as well as the equipment they can take, and provide our concluding thoughts on how to best use Hive Scum in your gangs of Necromunda. So with that being said, let's get this video on a roll. Hive Scum, or Scummers, are masterless or itinerant hivers that will fight for anyone who offers them coin. Many drunkards and down and outs, but even these have their use and despite appearances are quite capable of holding their own in a fight. Others are mercenaries who travel from zone to zone, making few friends or commitments, earning whatever easy money is around before moving on. Scum are too wild and independent to submit to the leadership of anyone for very long, and they hire out their services as they feel like it. Despite their carefree lifestyle and happy-go-lucky attitude, Scummers are good fighters, so their services are always in demand. Many end up working for the guilders, but there are always a few willing to tag along with the gang for a share of the spoils. Hive Scum are especially valuable to a newly founded gang, especially one whose fighters may be neither numerous nor especially experienced. In general, more established gangs eschew their services, preferring to rely on their own in the heat of battle. Nonetheless, Hive Scum are considered a great value as cannon fodder. So then we're going to talk about the most common mercenary and hired gun that most gangs usually recruit for themselves, and that is the Hive Scum. These guys are cheap, they're plentiful, they can actually take some really good equipment to help out your gangs, and these are the fighters that we'll be talking about today, which are generic hanger-ons and hired guns that most gangs can actually recruit. Alright, so let's talk about the Hive Scum. You can take up to 5 of these guys, and they cost 30 credits apiece. They have 5-inch wound allowance, 4 plus weapon skill, 4 plus ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 8 leadership, 8 cool, 8 willpower, as well as 8 intelligence. Now, to be perfectly honest with you guys, these guys are pretty much average gang level fighters. The only exception with these guys, however, is that their psychology stats are absolutely horrible. At 8 plus for each one of those psychology stats, you only have a 41.6% chance of actually succeeding any leadership tests or cool tests or willpower tests or even intelligence tests that these guys have to take. What you're really focusing on, however, are their combat stats. Quite average across the board with average strength and toughness as well as wound initiative. They have the 1 attack basic, 4 plus weapon skill, ballistic skill, 5-inch movement. That's the only reason why you should be taking these guys. The thing to remember about Hive Scum, however, though, is that because they have such horrible psychology stats, you want to make sure that you don't necessarily want these guys to break very easily because that cool of 8 plus is horrible. So if they see anybody take a serious injury or an out of action result from being shot at, just be aware these guys might actually run away. Now, the nice thing about these guys, however, is they can take up to 60 credits worth of pistol, basic, close combat war gear from their equipment list as well. And that's the real reason why you actually take these guys. The real reason why you take them is because, yes, that 30 credits does come out of pocket, but it's the 60 credits worth of equipment that you're really paying for these guys. Because remember, Hive Scum are supposed to be used as expendable cannon fodder. How you're supposed to use these guys. You use these guys in situations that you really don't want to risk your more valuable fighters for, or you're taking these guys in order to support your gang in some way, so that way whatever you might be lacking in. So for example, if you're a close combat oriented gang, you might take Hive Scum because they can bring long range shooting guns with like auto guns or las guns, for example. Or if you're a long range shooting gang and you're looking for some close combat fighters, these guys can take things like chainswords, shotguns, blasting chargers, things like that. And plus they can take up to 3 weapon slots as well. So in my opinion, it kind of depends on what you want to use these guys for. The real utility for these guys is actually just getting them the weapons and equipment you need to kind of balance out your gang. They do have a special rule called Outlaw, which says that if hired by an outlaw gang, this fighter is automatically an outlaw and can take additional equipment from the black market, rare or illegal up to 7 or below, including custom items. So if you are an outlaw gang, just be aware these guys can take black market items as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And speaking of which, let's talk about their equipment real fast. So as you can see, for the weapons and equipment, they actually have a pretty good selection of things that they can take. Just real basic things, but things that can help kind of balance out your gang, like I mentioned before. So for their basic weapons, they can take auto guns, reclaimed auto guns, last guns, sawed-off shotguns with scatter ammo, shotgun with solid and scatter ammo, or throwing knives. For their pistols, they can take auto pistols, reclaimed auto pistols, last pistols, or stun guns and dum-dum rounds. For close combat weapons, they can take axes, swords, fighting knives, flails, clubs, two-handed axes, and two-handed hammers. For grenades, they can take blasting charges, frag grenades, crack grenades, or smoke grenades. For the armor, they can take flak armor, hazard suits, or mesh armor. And for their personal equipment, they can take armor undersuits, drop rigs, filter plugs, and photo goggles. And for weapon accessories, they can take telescopic sights, which they can put on their pistols, basic as well as special weapons only. But since they don't have access to special weapons, that's not really going to be a thing that you're going to be worried about too much. And like I said, the only time you're really recruiting Hive Scum really is if you need table bodies on the tabletop. Unfortunately, Necromunda is a very brutal gang, and sometimes a lot of your fighters could end up in recovery. So you might end up in a situation where you have a lot of credits, but your fighters can't not fight because of XYZ reasons. So because of that, if you do run into that situation, the best thing to do is actually spend some of your credits to recruit Hive Scum so that they can operate on the tabletop. And like I said, the only time really ideally you want to basically get these guys, ideally you want to do it not by spending your credits so much, but more like getting them as for a boon, for example. So like some territories, for example, can give you free Hive Scum if you get that, or if you have an alliance benefit like with the Iron Guild or with the Narco Lords, you can get D3 plus 2 Hive Scum to help you out in a fight, for example. Or rather some other special rule like the Ancestry special rules for the Ironhead Squat Prospectors. They can take Hive Scum as well. So ideally that's when you want to take these guys, is because they're free and they don't cost you anything. However though, if you do need to take them because you are short of manpower and you do have the credits, then by all means recruit these guys. The only problem is it only lasts for a fight, so that's the reason why it's kind of expensive to do this, because that's 30 credits that's gone that you'll never get back ever again, because they immediately leave your service once the battle is over. So that's something you do want to keep into consideration. The idea behind Hive Scum, of course, is that you want to equip them the way that you need to best suit your gang. So for example, one of my favorite things to do with Hive Scum, since you only have 60 credits to work with, is to give them blasting charges and some kind of close combat combination of weapons, like either a chainsword and a stub gun, or like an auto pistol or something like that. Or if you can, take frag grenades and shotguns, because then that can go to close and use shotguns to defend themselves and lob grenades. I really like using Hive Scum as grenade mules, so that way they can lob these attacks against my opponents and cause all kinds of problems. When it comes to armor, these are not going to be sticking around your gang very long, and if they die, you can always recruit new ones. So never spend your credits on armor, or personal equipment for that matter, unless you're getting like photo goggles or something. Most of the time, you want to get basically just weapons, grenades, maybe a shooting attack of some sort, or a close combat attack, and you're pretty much ready to go. And that's the way you really want to use them, is to kind of equip them to meet whatever needs that you require for your gang. So in conclusion, Hive Scum, they're an important part of Necromunda. My best suggestion to you is to recruit them only if you're absolutely desperate and you have the money to do so. Otherwise, try to get them as a territory boon of some sort, or some kind of alliance boon, or some kind of special rule that lets you get them, because that's actually the best way to get Hive Scum, is when they're absolutely for free. Otherwise, you know, get them if you need to for an order to fill up bodies on a battlefield, because maybe you take some horrible casualties or something like that. So that's good with you guys. Join us as we explore the characters, lore, as well as tactics that make Necromunda's hired help a critical part of your gang's success. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on the latest episodes. And if you have a favorite hanger-on, brute, or hired gun that you want us to cover, please drop a comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to make a video about those guys. So that's good with you guys. I am Commander Cheapskate. I will catch you guys next video. Stay cool, stay classy. Catch you guys on the flip side.